In any case, it's less than 4 months to the midterm, but more than 2 long years to the next presidential election. Here to look at the week that's been and what's coming next is Fox Nation host and Fox News contributor Tammy Bruce. Tammy, thanks so much for joining us here on the U.S. Report. Now, have a look at this.
And guess what? The first frost, you know what was happening? It had to put on their windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer.
Tammy, it's your first time here on the U.S. Report. Can you please tell us what is going on? The president has COVID. He said he had cancer. The White House has walked that back. Who are we to believe?
Well, that's the problem. American people, of course, are asking the same question. What we do know is that there are so many strange remarks from the president that something is wrong. That is established, right? And he has a history. This is nothing new, right? He was caught plagiarizing a speech which derailed one of his presidential campaigns decades ago. And he has a history of saying things that are just not true. Here we call it being a fabulist, which is not just exaggerating things, but adding stuff on to give yourself kind of a sense of bravado or charisma, or an attempt to place yourself almost like Zelig in some kind of every event that's ever happened. And it comes from a lack of self-esteem and also from perhaps a desire to manipulate. But the American people have seen this from him for 50 years. This is just, he's not as smooth with it these days. So we don't really know what's going on. Not only don't we know what's going on with Joe Biden, but we don't know who's running the country. We know that there is a collective of people who are nameless and faceless. Perhaps it's Ron Klain, who's his chief of staff, and Susan Rice, who heads his Domestic Policy Council, which obviously should be trying to hide in the hills at this point, considering what the domestic situation is. So we don't know who's running the country. We don't really know where they stand on issues. The American people are tired of being treated like crows, as though we're going to be distracted by every shiny thing. But because we do have an experience every day with inflation, with crime, with wondering about the future. Every single day you go to the store, you go to the gas station, and we have real life experiences that aren't going to be obscured by the strange things that Joe Biden says.
Tammy, it's very disturbing. I agree.